And actually, I am the CTO co-founder. My CEO unfortunately couldn't make it, so here we are. So today I'm going to talk about Moxi, our delivery robot that changes the way hospitals think about how they get things around their hospital, materials management. I'm going to start by highlighting three main things that you should take away from this talk. First, this is a massive market. The US labor market spends $240 billion annually getting things from point A to point B all throughout the hospital. This isn't just doctors and nurses and the work they do, but it's everyone involved in getting health care to the patients in a hospital. Second, we have a product that has achieved product market fit and that has resulted in 100 robots today out in the world running 24/7 and achieving over 1 million deliveries completed. And that results in 1.5 billion steps saved that we're incredibly proud about. And third, this is a high growth opportunity. We crossed 10 million of ARR last year, and we're on track to double that this year and double it again in 2026. And this is just scratching the surface of what we can achieve with robotics and healthcare. We see the development of our continued AI algorithms and our data strategy to be able to unlock further applications and other product lines to continue to grow this revenue. Okay, so we are raising a $20 million round, of which $5 million is left. The main two things that we're investing on with this round are, one, growth, so continue to double that revenue year after year, like mentioned, and second, to double down on our technical moat against our competitors. Our competitors are years behind us in terms of the autonomous behaviors of what their systems can do, and they don't have the massive data sets that we have with our fleet of robots today that allow us to continue to build our algorithms for that next set of robot and class of robots that we will continue to develop. So this is a massive labor market problem in healthcare. This is probably not surprising to those of you watching or listening to this talk. It is a problem today, and it's a problem that's not going to go away or get any better. We hear directly from hospital operators that it's not just nurses, but it's also lab technicians and pharmacy techs, that they just can't hire enough people to be able to do the work that is needed to be done. So this is why we've built Moxi. Moxi is our general purpose robot that is able to traverse throughout the hospital and handle dynamic, complex environments around people. The main thing that differentiates us between other competitors in the space is that we have an arm, and that arm allows us to interact and manipulate with the world so that the hospitals don't have to put in a costly infrastructure. And this is powered by our underlying AI algorithm models that allow the robot to be able to dynamically traverse these environments. Every single delivery that our robot has to do requires at least one elevator ride and opening multiple doors. This is an incredibly hard technical problem that has taken us years to develop, but is now in production with our robots running 24/7. Here, you can see a video of Moxi. This is our robot, and this is the application that our clients use to be able to request a delivery. They go ahead and request the robot. They can put in notes. Here, Moxi shows up to do a pickup, and the pharmacy technician is able to then interact with the different drawers. We have 3 drawers that allow the robot to do multiple deliveries all across the hospital. They scan their badge, they put in the item, and then they go on and do their work. On the other end of that delivery, we have in this case, a nurse that is going to come over, scan her badge. So now we have full end-to-end chain of custody and unload the robot. And both sides now can focus on their patients and their work instead of running around delivering things to where they need to be. Moxi has various workflows from ad hoc deliveries all the way to scheduled deliveries and to various ski lifts. And this allows the robot to deliver various items throughout the hospital. So things like medication, lab equipment, specimens, all the things that normally would take a person to be hand carried. And we hear directly from our users that this has been game changing for them. Their stories all the time we're here like, I used to walk 20,000 steps a day. Now I only have to walk 10,000 steps. And that has been huge for their just overall well-being and long-term longevity, being able to stay in the healthcare space. It's not just users that benefit, but hospitals actually see a massive ROI in being able to leverage our Moxi fleet. Today, the only solution to get these items around the hospital that can't go in pneumatic tube systems is to hire a runner that runs around 24/7 being able to make these deliveries. This is incredibly expensive to staff and just hard to maintain and retain and keep this team going. We also are starting to see with our fleet actual ROIs that are not directly tied to cost savings around people and time. We're seeing a reduction in turnover of staff, reduction in burnout, because they get to focus on the parts of the jobs they love the most. And they get to, and we've seen things around patient outcome improvements. For example, we have one hospital that has 6 robots deployed as their fleet. Before those robots showed up, the nursing staff would have to take specimens down to the lab and get them processed themselves. This resulted in a lot of batching, where a lot of specimens came down in these large groups because people are too busy to bring them down to the lab. Well, that delayed patient care. The labs took longer to develop, and the lab technicians would have these massive workload spikes and then have moments of nothing happening. So by having our robots be able to just pick up the specimens whenever they're ready, constantly 24/7, it smoothed out the predictability of when the lab samples get processed for the team, and then the patients get the results faster. And that's been incredibly amazing to see and hear as our fleet has done these deliveries day in, day out for the last 2 years. We are a robot as a service utilization-based pricing. You can see here is a heat map where over a 40-week period, 24/7, you can see that the robots are constantly busy. There's very few times in there where you can see any downtime. That means that our robots are being used and they're constantly moving around. Of the 1 million deliveries, if you put them in aggregate over time, it's saved the clinicians and staff over 600,000 hours that they get to use on other parts of their jobs. We are live in 24 different health systems today. 50% of them have expanded their initial fleets, and we are by far the largest set of mobile manipulation robots that is running 24/7 in the world today. As I mentioned, our robot as a service, our RAS pricing allows us to do payback period in 12 months as of this year. In 26 and 27, we'll continue to improve our operational efficiency so we can have that payback period be even shorter. With plans to be able to double our revenue, we have to have our pipeline to support it, and we very much do have a strong pipeline to support that growth. We have our pipeline split out into 2 buckets, first in new logos and the second into expansions. Last year, we proved out our expansion strategy with several key clients, such as Northwestern, that went and expanded through their IDN after seeing successful deployment of our robots in a few key hospitals. My co-founder and I have decades of experience in robotics, and we have used our time and experience of putting robots and people side by side together out into the field. And it's been an incredibly exciting journey over the last 7 years, getting these robots out into the world and actually providing value and helping people. But we're excited that our journey is not yet over, and we have a massive roadmap ahead of us that is going to allow us to really take the data and the robot fleet and learnings that we have today with our current product and continue to grow that and apply that to our next series of products. So today we have VLMs that use standard scene and understanding to seed our action models. Later this year, we're gonna have our first end-to-end learned models where the robot can directly be able to do manipulation skills faster and more efficiently than they do today. And then next year, we're aiming to have our first robot foundation models that will unlock a whole series of products for additional dexterous manipulation that we can do and train from all the data that we're collecting from our systems today. So I'm just going to show a few robot videos to show what do we mean by complex environments. Our robots have to navigate around people, pause in hallways, go through doorways. We have to go through doors where the robot has to perceive the environment very quickly, move the arm very effectively, and be able to be safe around people. And this gets even harder when you put a robot in an elevator where you have a constrained environment, an even smaller target to be able to hit. And the robot elevator doors don't stay open very long. So the robot has to spend a lot of time, very quickly get onto those elevators to be able to do that well. That's not just one demo or one robot video. These robots are doing this day in and day out, doing thousands of manipulations every single month. And the exciting part about that is we can collect all that data to build our next generation class of models that will unlock the next generation of robots. And we're getting paid to do this. And not only are our robots collecting data around manipulation, we are collecting use cases that are unique and around social complex environments that people today are just not able to capture in the labs. Our competitors are doing teleoperation in lab environments, and they're never going to be able to capture the wide variety of examples that we have. We have a world-class team that have built and scaled robots in hard, complex software devices multiple times and at scale. So we're excited to have them on board to help do that for us here at Diligent as well. I hope I showed you a little bit about how Moxi has made a difference in making deliveries in the healthcare space, but also, more importantly, that you're excited about what we can build in the next class, the next generation of robots that will able to transform how we think about the future of work. Okay, thank you.